Havenites, it is Thursday night, which means it's time for some shop talk with Josh and Alan. So stick around and we're going to get right to it with some end of year lists and that kind of stuff. Once again, a big shout out to Nick Ellis at Two Brothers Comics for that awesome intro video. It's a great one and we love it. So thank you, Nick. Um, he doesn't watch this anymore because he's too good for us now. But speaking of things that are too good for us, what's up, Alan?
I hadn't played that one in a while.
No, it's been a minute.
I am kind of messing with some stuff in the background, and it didn't do what I thought it was going to. No, it didn't, Dewey.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Merry Christmas to us.
Yeah, we got the Christmas border.
Well, I feel super special now.
We may have to leave that one up for a little bit. I know it was kind of mentioned last night at the shop, and we can get into last night at the shop here in just a minute, but I'm still seeing that report that Universal Parks are in negotiations with Warner Brothers to get the rights to DC characters for the parks, and if that happens,
they'll have to get them from Six Flags.
Well, see, that's just it, though. I don't think Six Flags really has control over that.
Their lawyers must not be very good.
They must not be, because, I mean, they're talking about this. This could seriously be happening for Epic Universe. And I think something like that is needed for Epic. I did feel like Epic was, it's a gorgeous park. It was a lot of fun. But I do feel like it was it needed a little bit more. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
And now, if you go, it is a massive park. It's big, and and they definitely did it for room to grow.
Well, very good, very good. Let's talk about last night a little bit. Last night, for anybody who was not able to make it, we had our Haven Christmas party, and we doubled that up as a release event for Mark Spears Monsters #8 blind bags. And Mark came out. He was there for, 45 minutes or so?
Yeah, 45 minutes now.
And his whole family was going to get something to eat. And then he had a eBay live show last night. But Mark came out. We got to sit around, hang around, had a good time. Opened up some blind bags for Mark Spears Monsters. And you're just going to go ahead and show off some of those, aren't you?
Yeah, so this is the normal cover.
Hang on.
Okay, hang on. This does not come signed. Mark signed that for me last night.
Which he was not going to sign anything for anybody. That was part of the deal. He's just coming to hang out. But Alan started opening up blind bags, and Mark reaches into his pocket, and he pulls out this weird little fingerless glove that a lot of artists do wear to keep from smudging and smearing on the page. And he pulls out this fingerless glove thing and starts putting it on. And I was like, he's either about to punch Alan in the mouth or he's going to sign some books.
Mark loves me. This is the foil. This is the foil variant for this cover.
That is so shiny you can't hardly see it.
I know, and the bad thing about it is this is one of the foil, because I'm not a massive fan of foil variants, just because sometimes I don't think the colors work with the shininess.
Yep.
But since this is meant to be a darker style cover, I think that it works beautifully when you see it in person. Now, wait a minute. Hey, and then this one, this is just a normal cover. This is one of the variant covers, but it's basically a virgin. And I mean, I loved it. I thought it was great. But I'm just going to kind of show some of these off quickly for those of y'all that didn't make it out. And all of these covers are available in the blind bags. I mean, it's just like it was. You got to just get them and go.
But you don't have to go. You can hang around.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm saying, but This is what I'm referring to as the Sam Elliott cover.
Reasonable.
Yep. Even remarked it with a little Christmas tree.
What's happening, James? Sassy mummy cover, yes, and a very festive overlay, yes, indeed. Thank you for noticing.
You know, when I first saw this cover, I just got a quick glance of it, and I thought it was one of the aliens from Mars Attacks as a zombie.
That would be awesome.
Because of the dome over the, I thought that was a dome.
You didn't see the.
And I love the colors that he went with on this one. I don't know why. But then we do kind of have I guess we could throw this under the Mars Attacks.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
And the Mad Hatter is creepy.
Always.
But I would really like it if we get something with just the psychotic Alice. I think
that's fair.
I think that's got a ton of potential. But those are just a few of the covers.
You know, I don't disagree. It does kind of look like a Scooby-Doo space villain.
No, that one right there?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And I would have got away with it, too, if it hadn't been for those meddling kids.
I think this was 11 books is what I just showed y'all. And there's, 70 different covers?
82.
Oh, 82 different covers. This one right here, like I said, this is just one of my favorite covers. It's not a foil. It's not one of the ultra rares exclusives or any of that. It's just a virgin variant of this particular zombie. I think the colors are beautiful in it. But I was excited to get both versions of this one because that is one of my favorite covers.
Yeah, that one's creepy.
Oh, yeah, they really are. So, but I mean, we had a good time last night.
Well, before we switch gears, I'll show some of my covers.
Oh, yeah, show them off.
I got the same one as Alan. I got now all I see is freaking Mars Attacks. Thanks for that. But no, I like that one. And again, a nice little signature and a remark. That was nice. I got Double Trouble, who does show up in this issue, by the way.
I have not read the issue yet.
It's Mark. He signed it, and he's got Ho and Ho. I was looking for a third one to say now I have a machine gun, but I didn't get one. There's this guy who he called the Glob because he couldn't call him the Blob because of the movie, and it probably doesn't show up very well on camera. He's all slick and shiny looking. He looks like some sentient cranberry sauce. So that's what we called him last night, and Mark seemed to get a kick out of that. And then apparently there was some reference to the cranberries. Zombie. So yeah, that's cranberry now. This one just looks like a demented Tom Cruise from Interview with the Vampire.
See, and that's what I was asking him about because the Troop des Vampires.
Yeah.
To me, it reminded me of from the original Tom Cruise movie. It did reminded me of one of those guys that was in the Troop.
I agree. He said this was some other vampire entirely, and I forget his name, but apparently he's the first vampire in fiction, which was not Dracula. It was this guy, whoever he is. I really like this one, and it's not one of the particularly rare covers that I can find anything about either, but this is the D&D cover.
I do like that cover.
I mean, that's just awesome. Look at that. I love the whole style of it in the D&D. That's pretty great. You showed this one off earlier, the Sam Elliott cover. I actually pulled a foil on that one, nice. Which is pretty cool. I was pretty excited about that. I like it. It's very shiny, though, because it's a foil. You know, that's how they go. They're shiny. I did pull one glow in the dark, which made me happy because for whatever reason, I'm a big fan of the glow in the dark. You have to charge this thing for a long time, and I did not do that. because I wanted to put it in a bag and a board. But he had the pirate from Monster the Wolf #1 that I really liked, and it took me forever to track down. But one of the glow in the darks is a pirate in this series, and I really like it.
That is a good looking cover.
Look at that. I don't know why. Mark does pirates really well, and that makes me happy. And I like me some pirates. Then this next one is one of my favorites. It's, again, one of just the basic covers, but he took an image he's already had and put a Santa Claus hat on it, and for some reason it just really works. I love that.
That is a good one.
That's a fun one. And I really love this one too because it just reminds me of. Whoa, what just happened?
What?
I don't know. My computer just started going nuts.
Well, you know, we are under a tornado warning.
The heck?
Well,
it went full screen and then it started getting huge and then getting tiny and all kinds of very strange. Now it's back to normal. But this one I really like. It just reminds me of the old school because for whatever reason, a lot of Golden Age books have really bright yellow backgrounds, and I love that. And this one's just a great one. Just the werewolf head, the Wolfman head. But I really like that one. That's fun. And then I got a foil of Vidal Sassoon, the vampire.
That's a good looking foil too.
Ah, it's so shiny. I did not get any of the ones. Jeremy Long pulled a couple of them, the Silver Screams.
Do we have to mention his name after last night?
We don't. Well,
like I said, I got a foil. He didn't, so I'm happy.
Well, there you go. Jeremy Long pulled some great books.
He really did.
But he got a couple of the Silver Screams variants, which are a ratio of about 1 every 666 copies. So very clever. But those things are just foil top to bottom, all 100% silver, and they look amazing. I wouldn't have thought they looked great, but they looked great. And I was a bit jealous and angry and wanted to show Jeremy something out by the dumpster so I could whack him over the head, throw him in, and steal those books. But I didn't do it.
You know, I did find it kind of funny or kind of weird, actually, that out of that ratio, we did watch 3 of those get pulled last night.
We did, yeah.
So, and, you know, 3 by 2 different people.
That's true. Yeah, apparently we have a magical box cutter. So if you come to the shop and you're desperate to open blind bags and you're willing to sign a waiver that you won't sue us if you cut yourself with our magical box cutter, then you too can use that box cutter and open an unreasonable number of specialty covers and foils and glow in the darks and such.
Yeah, really. I did not bring very many new comics tonight because I knew that we had a big, you know, in our end of year discussion on this.
We do, yep.
I did bring a couple that I wanted to highlight right quick though that's come out in the past.
Highlight away.
Aquaman #12. Aquaman versus Hawkman for KO round 2.
So good.
It was really good. You would think that what should have been an even fight really and truly was not an even fight.
I tell you what I liked was that you thought it was over and done.
Yeah.
And then it was not over and done. I was like, all right, I'm cool with that.
And him basically declaring himself the Dark Tide at the end of it.
Yep.
Oh, that was so good. Another one, I know a lot of people have been talking about this book, and I finally sat down and read it, and yeah, it was well worth the hype. The fact that...
You must be talking about the Bad Idea book.
No, actually I'm not. Although I do have that one in here. But I'm actually talking about Absolute Batman issue 15.
Oh yeah.
It was the fact that Alfred was, and I love what they've done with Alfred narrating the majority of these books.
Yep.
But now that in this particular issue, Alfred is telling Bruce a story, and you're watching the story unfold as he tells it, I thought was brilliant. But that was actually kind of creepy the way that was done.
That whole backstory, how it's like on the face of it, it looked totally normal, but then you dug into it a little deeper and you saw, well, that's maybe not right. And then you dug into it a little deeper and that's completely wrong. You know, a smidge deeper, you know, like that is horrifying.
And it's like every time he goes back to that original, I'm just going to call him Grimm because that was their last name.
Yeah.
Every time he went back to that person, it got creepier and you kind of see. And here comes your big spoiler alert. If y'all hadn't read it yet, you got two, and I'll save you this one. But you kind of see that whole thing coming of, is it really the same person throughout all the years?
Yep.
And even when you you don't really until you get that reveal, but you get that reveal. I thought it was just written brilliantly.
It really was. It was great.
One that I really enjoyed because I do find a nice break from the superheroes and supernatural and all that stuff every once in a while. And that was the Bad Idea book, Ordained.
It was so good.
It was
I'm
really
so
good
mad at it. It was so good.
because even in the beginning of it, when he's just an average priest, you still get the hint of there's something going on with this guy.
Yeah, he's
And then
compelling.
when he actually fights those guys in the church, that just makes you want his backstory
So
because
bad.
it's like, who is he? I thought it was great. I hope that it stays more of which I'm pretty sure this is just a mini series.
It is.
But I hope it stays street level.
Oh,
And they
I
don't
don't see it going any other way. It absolutely is.
my only thought was that gangster that there at the end of it, it's like all of a sudden he's better now. I hope they don't bring some type of supernatural element into it.
I
And
don't think so. I don't
yeah,
think they will.
he just kind of got better. False alarm type deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to. This is a priest that when he starts the sermon, you're going to hear the end of it. You're not going anywhere.
Let's just give people the premise of the book a little bit, right?
So
it's a priest. There's a mafia guy who's in hospital. He's been in the hospital for a while. He's doing poorly. The doctors have told him there's no hope. He's gone. He's dead. You show that back off to Tots there. What's up, Tots? So the doctors have said, this is the end of the line. You're dead. And he's like, well, now he suddenly decided that he hasn't been a real great person. And so he needs to get things right with God. So he's a mafia guy. He gets a priest. He gets the church to send a priest out to do last rites. So last rites. And he confesses all the terrible things that he's done. Now, we don't see all of that. We see a little bit of it, but we don't see all of it. He confesses all the terrible things he's done to this priest, and then, false alarm, he gets better. And now there's somebody that knows his secret, knows all his dirty laundry. So it's predictable. It's nothing exciting or new from a plot perspective, but it's really well executed. And the art is phenomenal. The story is great. The only thing I didn't like about it was some of the text is really small in the word balloons.
Yeah, there are a couple.
And you really got to pull it up and what the heck does that say? So it kind of pulls you out of the story a little bit. But holy smokes, is it good? And apparently, it is written by the same guy who wrote the original John Wick movie.
Yeah. Venditti. Robert Venditti, is that it?
No Venditti.
Oh, one nice touch that I like. At first, I was like, "What is this?" Because I wasn't used to it, and then it was like the longer I read it, the more I enjoyed it. I love the fact that the pages was actual
newsprint.
Print. It felt like coarse paper, like you were flipping the pages of a newspaper. Now, was that done to save money? I don't know. Was it done?
It's actually not any cheaper.
Yeah, was it not?
Uh-uh.
Oh, well, I thought that was a beautiful touch. And by the end of it, I was like, I don't want more comic books that feel like this.
Yeah,
I mean,
it felt like an old school comic, and it was great.
yeah, it was. Another one that I enjoyed. In fact, I picked it up because it was a number one, and I thought, hey, we haven't really talked about this. Nobody's really mentioned it coming out. I do like the writer. He's an okay artist. Let me grab it and see what's going on with it. And I literally, when I walked in the shop last night, one of the first things I said to Tom was, "Sign me up for the darkness."
Yeah, I haven't read that one yet. I've got to check that one out.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. It's what you would expect from him, from Silvestri. So that's
Sylvester, yeah.
I have stumbled over his name, but great, beautiful artwork in it. It's literally, it's got pretty much his imprint all over it. I mean, it's fun. Definitely not for kids.
I wouldn't know.
Definitely a subject matter in here. And I think it makes it even better that the darkness here was literally, let's say you get his conception in the beginning of it, and he was conceived solely for this purpose. So, I mean, it's a really good book, beautiful book, nice collectible book too. Just the way it looks, the way it feels, all that good stuff. I do highly recommend it if y'all like the supernatural element, the little bit darker things. It does have a little bit of a mystery going on. We do got some gangsters and stuff. I mean, it was fun.
Very cool.
Definitely worth reading. I do recommend this book.
Very good.
But that was all the new stuff that I brought.
Well, I haven't had a chance to read any of this yet because it just came out this week, but I do want to show off a handful of books that are in my reading pile because we'll have a good stack of them to talk about when we come back in January.
Really?
Let's see. Where do I want to start? I'm still trying to figure out how this is a thing. Especially since the artwork is so heavily anime.
Okay. Honestly, I had no desire to pick that one up.
I'm reading all of the KO books. I'll read it, but the Lobo Wonder Woman one, that art style was atrocious. Was not
Really?
a fan. Yeah, I could hardly look at it.
The Aquaman Hawkman was beautiful.
That
I
was
mean, they
great.
got a really good team.
Looking forward to number 2 of this one.
Oh yeah.
They got it. They did an Adam Hughes cover that's reminiscent of his Catwoman cover, but it's Black Cat. That's pretty great.
Yeah, that is great. Favorite movie based on a comic strip?
Dennis the Menace movies were terrible.
Yeah, The Phantom with Billy Zane was actually a decent movie.
That was a good movie. Yeah. I'll give you that. That was a good one.
Honestly, as far as your next question is, who would I like to see? A Ziggy movie would be good, but I think Hagar the Horrible would be fun.
Hagar the Horrible would be hysterical.
Yeah, or we kind of somewhat get like a Beetle Bailey-esque when it comes to Gomer Pyle USMC.
Yep.
But Beetle Bailey could be fun also.
But yeah, Alien versus Captain America. The first one of this was phenomenal. Really looking forward to the second one. I gotta say, when they announced, "Hey, we're coming to the end of the Ultimate Universe," I was like, "Then why am I still reading this?" So yeah, lost a lot of enthusiasm, but we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, but it will be nice for you to get like a definitive ending.
Well, as long as it doesn't suck, it'll be nice. Looking forward to that one.
Oh, that one was so good.
And,
I did read that one, and it was great.
This cover tells me I'm going to enjoy reading this one.
That's a fun cover. It really is.
I mean, just so yeah, small stack for me this week. Outside of Mark Spears books, which I do have a fair few of, but yeah, yeah, good stuff. And I am looking forward to digging into some of these. I'm really looking forward to that Daredevil.
I am too. That is actually going to be my Saturday morning with a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yep, that will be my Saturday morning. I like it when I have my Daredevil Saturdays. The rest of the house is still in bed asleep. And this Saturday I'll be able to turn on the Christmas tree lights, kick back with a cup of coffee, and read Daredevil. It does not get any better than that.
You're
Well,
probably right. That sounds pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it does, but this is the most fun you can have with your clothes on. Let's put it like that. Or at least for me. So
let's talk about one other thing before we jump into comics. I just got back from Disneyland out in California, and I went to Avengers Campus. Avengers Campus. It's like you can't just spend all day there; you get bored. But it is so much fun. There are so many things just going on. A lot of superheroes just wandering about, going from one place to the other. Running out on the roof of the building, the Avengers Vault building, and like Thor will yell at Captain America and this kind of thing, right? They have the Spider-Man show, which is like a prelude to the meet and greet. You see Spider-Man come out on a rooftop and he does some things. He's testing the suit, right? He's doing some things to test the limits of the suit. So he's doing some strength stuff and some acrobatics and all this kind of stuff. And then he's like, okay, well, let's test this and see how high we can go. And he runs over here to the right. And then it's like, he flies way up into the air. I mean, like probably 130 feet or so. He flies way up into the air, flipping and twisting and doing all kinds of acrobatics and stuff. Lands over here, comes up, does a few more acrobatic things, and lowers down either all the way to the ground behind a wall, or he wall crawls straight down the wall, just like Spider-Man would do.
Oh, nice.
And then he comes out and he does a little meet and greet for a while. That was awesome. And the when he's flying up into the air, like doing all those acrobatics and things, 130 feet up in the air, that is an audio animatronic. Actually,
yeah,
I don't know if it's audio, but it's an animatronic.
Yeah.
And it's really, really cool. The Spider-Man ride that they have is a fun one. You don't have. They used to have like kind of guns and things like you would have on Toy Story, Midway Mania, or on Buzz Lightyear.
Yep.
But now it just reacts to the motion of your arms, and you have to fling your spider webs. So you have to extend your arm and fling your spider webs to hit the targets and stuff. He's created these little spider bots. Yeah. And they have a self-replicating feature, and one of them gets like stuck in self-replicating mode. So it just keeps making more, but it has to have materials to make more, so it's eating everything and destroying everything. That was a fun ride, more so than I expected. I thought it was just going to be a boring little thing, but it was a lot of fun. And there's a lot of Easter eggs in there. So that was pretty great. We watched the Dora Milaje come out and do like this training exercise. That was really cool. We saw Doctor Strange over at the Sanctum Sanctorum. He was just wandering around. He does a show at some point. We didn't see that, but he was just wandering around. Rode the Guardians of the Galaxy mission Breakout.
How was that?
The ride mechanism is identical to Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
The story is excellent. I mean, fun. So when they separate, you go through the line and then they separate you and you go into the little pre-show rooms.
Yeah.
Well, up on the TV is the collector. So you've got Benicio del Toro as the collector, and he's talking to you about his collector stuff. And then up here, there's like an air conditioning vent or something, and it just goes ka-ching. And you think you see some movement. And you're like, what the? And then you see this raccoon tail pop up and do like this across. And then Rocket, you see the top of his head as he pops up. And then he stands up and he reaches up and he pulls the plugs on the TV thing, so you're not getting the collector guy. He's like, "Look, my friends are all prisoners. You got to help me get them out of here." And part of how they do it before you ever go in. They have all of the audience has to raise their hands, and then they do a scan of your hands, and that's your security to get through. So he wants you to help him because you have to help with security. So you have to be. And he holds up his little paws and he's like, "These, for some reason, don't register as hands." So that's how the audience participates, right? You got to hold your hands up. So once you're on the ride, too, right? Everybody's like, because they really want you to hold your hands up on the ride. As you shoot up and down. But as you stop in several places, he's trying to figure out how to do something. Is the premise. You stop and you see these screens and stuff as the Guardians he's trying to rescue them, and it plays a randomized soundtrack as you might expect from the Guardians, of all fun songs. But no, that was an absolute hoot. It was great. I love Tower of Terror. I might like this one better, maybe. I don't know. The story was so fresh and so fun. I really, really enjoyed it.
Acres, I cannot think of the name of the movie right now, but it had Helen Hunt in it.
Yes. God, what's the other guy's name? The blonde hair. That was a great movie. I really liked that one.
As Good as It Gets.
Yes. Fantastic movie.
Yep. Greg Kinnear.
Greg Kinnear, that's it.
And I know that's kind of an oddball movie because people always want to scream about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and then there was another movie that he did with Meryl Streep.
Terms of Endearment.
Yeah, that might be it. But I always liked that movie with him. I thought it was a really good one.
Witches of Eastwick. I mean, there's a ton, but
yeah,
The Shining. Anyway, then the other big thing that we did there, which was an absolute hoot, and you're like, how are they going to get away with this? At Chinatown, there you go. How are we going to get away with this in a theme park for kids? Right? Is Story Time with Deadpool holiday special.
I have watched some of those videos on YouTube, and they're hysterical.
That show was so funny. He comes out on this like rocking horse kind of a thing, and then he talks for a minute, and then he decides he's going to do this Christmas story, and he's going to read a Christmas Carol, right? So he sits down and he opens the book, and this is the first line of A Christmas Carol: "Marley was dead," and he goes, "Marley was dead." Did the Disney lawyers see this before they let me do this? Marley was dead. We're going to skip that, and then he starts describing, he gets to the place where he describes Ebenezer Scrooge, but he describes him as short, grumpy, hairy, Canadian Loganezer Scrooge. And then you hear, "Hey!" And here comes Wolverine. And of course, he drags him into helping. And so he's like, "Oh, fine." He sits down and he opens the book and he goes, "Marley was dead." He's like, "No, we're not doing that part." But the whole time he would be sitting there and he would just put his hand on Logan's chest and he'd be like, oh, you may be short, but you are stout. Or that's a powerfully muscled thigh. But But yeah, constant comments about Disney lawyers and Disney in general and cash grabs at gift shops and all. It was hysterical. That show was really, really funny. Leslie was cracking up. It was pretty great. But yeah, we had a really good time. So Avengers Campus, if you're a comic book person, Avengers Campus is pretty great. I mean, at one point it's kind of like graffiti, but on the side of the Spider-Man building, where the ride is housed, there's a bumper sticker has been just on the building that's for Lost Dog or a Pizza Dog restaurant, and it's the pizza dog from uh, Hawkeye, the Hawkeye comic.
Oh yeah.
And then there's another like little circle sticker of him up on a girder inside the Spider-Man gift shop. So there's stuff like that, little Easter eggs everywhere.
See, I would like because I really enjoyed when we did Universal, just walk around their Marvel area for the '90s nostalgia.
Yeah.
But see, Disneyland has been discussed, but it was if we're going to fly that far, why don't we just go a little bit further and go check out Tokyo Sea?
Which is a good idea too. I'm not going to say it's not because that's clearly one of the best theme parks in the world. But Disneyland has its own charm. It was the first. It was the original. Walt was there. You can still walk past his apartment on Main Street.
And see, and that's why I want to go is for the. I mean, it's the OG, and you get the nostalgia and everything. It's literally what we grew up watching on TV.
Yeah. What I would recommend is two things. And one, I knew this, but I didn't factor it into my thought process, right? Disneyland is much more of a locals park than Disney World. So, like after work, a lot of people go to Disneyland. So the afternoon and evenings, it is crowded.
Yeah.
We were there a little bit later in the year than we wanted to be, but we were there because that was when we could go. But that close to Christmas, don't be at Disneyland on the weekend in the evening. Friday night was like wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder people. That was unpleasant. Saturday evening was the same thing.
Yeah.
If you get up early and go in the morning, you can do a ton of stuff. But in the evening, the park just crowds up.
And see, to me, that's part of the fun is seeing everything lit up at night.
Oh, it's absolutely fun, but don't expect you're going to get on a lot of rides or do a lot because it's a ton of people.
Yeah.
But yes, Disney's California Adventure, Avengers Campus was awesome. And they're building the giant King Thanos attraction. And that thing is massive. The show building they're building for that is huge.
Is it going to be a ride or is it going to be a show?
It's a ride. It's a ride. I don't know what kind of ride, but it's a ride, and it's enormous.
I wonder if they will ever get the rights to do the stuff here on this side of the country.
Like I said before, I thought they were supposed to get the rights after 2025, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
I mean, if Universal ends up moving toward DC, I mean, maybe they will let it go, but I would hate to see that stuff Universal has go away.
Yeah, it's 30 years old.
I know, but it's that nostalgic feel, though.
Oh, I know. You and I are the only ones who would like get it, but yeah,
you should have seen Lily and I were like two squirrels on a playground. We were all over that place, and it was just so much fun. And it's still very nice. I mean, it's very well kept. Let's put it like that.
Sure.
So, but I would hate to see that go. But if we could get like DC at Universal and then all the Marvel stuff at, say, Epcot or whatever.
No, it needs to be Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, well, yeah, at Hollywood Studios. Man, that would make for like the greatest comic book vacation ever.
Yes.
It really would.
I'm with you on that. All right. So that was my plug for go to Disneyland in California and go to Disney California Adventure and hit up Avengers Campus because it's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, they'd have to get Netflix's permission for DC stuff. Looks like that's the direction that's going. Although what Paramount with like 3 Saudi princes or something is trying to do stage a hostile takeover.
And doesn't that pretty much come down to Universal? Isn't that all that owned by the same?
I guess, but yeah, it's DC in particular. They're looking to buy up.
Yeah. So
Let's talk some end of year lists.
I did something a little different this year.
Uh-oh.
Please do not mistake me for knowing what I'm doing. I am not a professional. Do not attempt this at home.
Uh-oh.
I actually made a list of 10 categories.
10 categories. Okay.
10 categories, and then I put in what I thought it should be for those categories.
Okay. Let's do it.
All right, so let's start off with the big one. Best comic book.
Do you have visuals?
No, I do not have visuals because I've got visuals for 3. Actually, technically 4. But I did not have time because I literally thought of this like a little bit after lunch today.
Yep.
And I grabbed what I had available this afternoon. And
before you read off let's talk about what your categories are. What categories did you make?
So believe it or not, when I emailed this to myself, I emailed it with the title of ST Awards. So these are my Shop Talk Awards for the year.
We should have trophies.
Really? Or at least a sticker that says me wow. But my categories were best comic, best mini / maxi series, company, there's 3. I'm sorry. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I have 11. I think I miscounted. Best indie company, best cover, biggest letdown, and
that's not an award.
That's not an award, but I threw a little of the Razzies in here. Biggest surprise, and that is like the biggest surprise book. I guess I could elaborate on that some. Best art team.
You should have told me these beforehand because I could have done these too.
Yeah, best writer and best artist. And my only criteria for these were, I literally had 2 criterias. One, I was not going to use Mark Spears for any of them. Bless you.
Thank you.
Simply because nobody could say, oh, it's rigged, they're friends, blah, blah, blah. And y'all know I love Mark. Mark knows I love him. And 2, I had to personally own these books. Those were my only 2 criteria.
Keith, that's awful. I mean, it's good, I guess, but ouch.
It really is.
At least you'll see them every day.
Yep. Maybe you can get somebody with an X-Men 5 drive by the house and you look out those windows at it.
That's true. That's true. You can do that. All right. Well, let's go.
All right. So for best comic book, I do have a visual. You've already seen it tonight. It is Absolute Batman.
Do you mean comic book issue or series?
Series.
Okay.
I guess. If I continue doing that, I need to actually make a little spreadsheet with the categories and the years and everything. I might do that.
We do need to do that.
Yeah, I might do that.
Because then we can send people stickers and we can invite them on the show to accept their award.
Yeah, really. All right. So what do you have for best comic book?
That was actually my number 1 for best comic book also.
All right.
Because, well, for a few reasons. One, I was a total skeptic about that book before it came out. I was like, this is going to be dumb. This is going to be so dumb. This makes no sense. But then I read the DC All In Special, and I was like, okay, I see kind of where they're going. And then I read number 1. I was like, okay, that was pretty darn good. Yeah, I liked it. You got it, brother. I liked it, and so there's a few things. One, I personally like it. I enjoy it. I'm not a fan of Nick Dragotta's art style for the most part, but for whatever reason, it works really well for this book. Excuse me. Scott Snyder is freaking knocking it out of the park. It's like, how does the book keep getting more and more intense and more brutal? But it does. So, aside from my personal enjoyment, that book is also driving sales in a huge way. And it's not just at Haven, it's across the country. It is driving people to comic book stores to pick up comics. And I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of that. So, yeah, Absolute Batman was also my number one book.
Somebody's getting caught up on our text message conversation from last night.
From last night?
Yeah.
Excellent. That's right. Yes, we were texting back and forth on a thread we have going with Mark Spears, and he's catching up on all of last night's text tonight.
So, and I thought about that last night, some of the stuff that we were saying. What I think should happen is, I think that the two of y'all and Jeremy Long should put me on some type of retainer to where I'm only paid in comic books, and I just sit around and think of random shit. Because I'm good at that. There's no other way to put it. I can't sugarcoat it. That's just what it is.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
A little limiting in your skill set, I think. You can do a lot of other things too, but yes, I think that's fair.
Let's see.
Hang on, that's a question. That's a good question. I think it's a couple of things, right? I think it is a character that you know and love, and so you have an instant like sympathy for it, right? But then you take everything fundamental about that character and you turn it on its head, and yet you still have a character that people know and love, right? So it's kind of an interesting thing that they're doing, and then a lot of the shackles are off, right? They can tell whatever kind of story they want, and they just jumped right in. And like the fact that all of his major villains are his friends, that's interesting. That's different. The fact that he's not some super rich guy with dead parents. That his dad was a doctor. His dad was a teacher. His mom was a social worker.
Yeah,
she's still alive.
And I really like the way DC has done it with the reimagining, and it's an entirely different universe. So they can do whatever they want to do, and we don't have to worry about a story being retconned or anything. It's all new and it's all fresh, and it's just a familiar character.
And Absolute Superman is also a phenomenal book. Just a great book. Really loving it. A lot of people love Absolute Wonder Woman. I'm not one of them, but a lot of people love it. Absolute Flash, really good. Absolute Green Lantern, good. Absolute Martian Manhunter, fantastic. They've just like taken it's the same appeal, I guess, as the Ultimate Universe, right? You take these characters that people know and love, and they just put them in a different world and alter the circumstances and see what that does to the characters and how it affects them.
And Daniel, I think you are 100% right on that. The violent aspect is definitely a draw, and it's not just for the younger guys. I mean, I'm definitely enjoying this just absolutely brutal,
the no holds barred Batman.
Because now I can picture this version of Batman going toe to toe with Superman. I mean, I could picture him just getting in there and just slugging it out, especially after what we just watched happen with Absolute Bane.
That was insane.
I mean, not only was he outclassed fighting and strength, yes, but he had the better plan.
Yep.
He had a plan going into it, and I enjoyed that about the book. So I'm looking forward to when we finally have him in this version, Absolute Superman face to face. And I'm not that big on the Absolute Wonder Woman, but I am looking forward because we saw at the end of issue 15. I mean,
Yep.
she's mentioned they're about to be standing toe to toe. We just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. No, it's been really, really good, and it's just a really fun world, where they don't have to worry about the corporate image of the characters. They can have them say and do things that they wouldn't say or do in the regular world. On the flip side, you got the regular Batman book written by Matt Fraction right now, and that's fantastic.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Tom Taylor is doing a great job on Detective. So Batman all around is really hitting.
All right. So my next category was best mini / maxi series. And
I'm gonna think. I think I know where you're gonna go, but I'm curious.
it's still going on.
Yep.
It's still ongoing, but it did start in 2025, so it does count. And what I'm about to show y'all is actually the ash can version of it. I didn't realize I picked up the ash can. But that is Exquisite Corpses.
Yep, that's the one I thought you were gonna pull.
Yep, it's been fun. Once again, yeah, we definitely the violence and the brutality of it, but it feels like a cross between the Purge and the Hunger Games, and they've written some compelling characters.
Alcatraz was a really good miniseries. I'll give you that.
I did not read that one.
Yeah, it was 3 issues. Really solid book.
So, but another thing was this, I could picture this one being a Netflix series or something very easy.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And every season is self-contained, and the
5
next
years later or
season,
10 years later.
yeah, it can be 5 years later easily.
Yep. I was torn on miniseries. I had 2 different ones that I was really between. That's one of them. I actually had 3. I had that one. I had Pale Night. Pale Night was really good. And I had Absolute Martian Manhunter. I think I came down on Exquisite Corpses as well. That one has continued to hold my interest more firmly. The big long break on Martian Manhunter between these most recent issues was a bad idea. That lost a lot of steam for me.
Next up,
we have Asterix the Gaul movies playing up at the shop periodically. A couple Saturdays ago, we just had that going forever. That was good stuff.
Next up, I went with Company of the Year.
I think that was pretty easy.
Yeah, that DC.
Yep.
They're crushing it all the way around.
No
but
argument.
That also led me to the thought process of, well, that's really not fair because there's also other comic book companies that are out there that are not part of the big two. So then when I looked at it, and it really and truly came down for the best indie company of the year, 2 companies popped in mind. One of them was Ghost Machine.
Yep.
And the other was Mad Cave. But I went with Mad Cave simply because Ghost Machine is technically a part of Image Comics. They're under that umbrella.
They're not a part of it. They are their own studio. They just use Image for distribution.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're kind of
for publishing. Yeah.
They're kind of on the edge of that umbrella. So when I think of indie comics, I think of like the Mad Caves, the Dynamites, the AWAs, and all that. And I did go with Mad Cave simply because Flash Gordon has been killing it all year long, and they've had some really good books. I mean, they continue to be solid.
I would go with Ghost Machine on that one personally. Hyde Street, Redcoat, Geiger. Come on.
But see, that also leads me to my best indie comic of the year, which I did go with Hyde Street for that one.
I really thought you were going to go with Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon was my best indie comic of last year.
Well, it's allowed to be the same book 2 years in a row.
It is, but I want to kind of throw it out there, throw some things out there. Hyde Street has been phenomenal. I mean, I've loved the Flash Gordon comic. It's been great all year long. But Hyde Street has just been rock solid. And to be honest with you, it was really and truly coming down to between Hyde Street and Redcoat.
Well, you got a point there, Daniel. Keen Spot did kind of kill it this year. They had the two highest grossing independent books between Monster and Wolf #1 and Monsters #8. Yeah, you're not wrong. But you missed the beginning when we're not putting Mark Spears up for any of these because we don't want people saying that we're putting him up for anything because he's our friend. But yeah, Keen Spot by default. Although I will say, take Mark Spears away from Keen Spot, and what do you have? Slaughter Otter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hyde Street for me is the #1 independent book. Wow. Okay. True Lies, no question.
Depends. Is Jamie Lee Curtis going to have that scene in The Dark Ride?
Well, if you're Imagineering this Dark Ride, I guess. If you have her and you have Tom Arnold, like checking to make sure he's got all his bits after hiding behind the lamppost when it gets all shot to pieces, and then you've got the Harrier scene and the helicopter. Yeah, it's True Lies all the way.
Yeah, but I mean, think of like part of the ride queue is you're basically being carried on that log that Arnold Schwarzenegger's walking through as he's carrying in the beginning of Commando.
That's not enough to take on True Lies, man.
Yeah, my live action Yosemite Sam, I've still got to go with. I think has got to be Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti.
Hang on just a second.
You got to make sure you got the right guy, or he's taking the call. Okay. Paul Giamatti for live action Yosemite Sam. I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't think I feel good about that.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's already bad, but I can start heading in that direction.
But let's talk about a couple of other books here. Oh, nope, he's coming back.
I have actually got to go because they are canceling dance because it's getting really bad out here.
Yeah, it's weather's supposed to be hitting.
Run
down your list real quick.
So next up on my list for cover of the year, I'm going with Epitaphs of the Abyss, issue 11.
That was a pretty great cover.
That was a great cover. For biggest letdown, that was a tie between They Choose Violence and the ending of Illuminati. If you want to read They Choose Violence, don't read Sisters of Sorrow instead, because it's basically a cheap knockoff of that book.
They Choose Violence was a huge disappointment. I'm with you.
Yeah. Biggest surprise of the year was Aquaman.
Preach, brother.
Best art team, I'm giving to the team that works on Daredevil.
Interesting.
Best writer, I did Jeremy Adams for his work on Aquaman and his work on Flash Gordon. But he's also tied with Josh Williamson because of his work on Superman and G.I. Joe.
Okay.
And then for best artist, I had to go with my boy Mooneyham.
Yeah, I can't argue that. Chris Mooneyham is phenomenal.
He really is. All right, I need to go get this child because the weather is really bad out here.
So are you saying the weather outside is frightful?
It's a little more than frightful. I mean, it's that tornado watch is definitely legit. So I'm going to go get her. I'm sorry I got to cut this shorter than expected.
But we'll see you in 2026, buddy.
You'll probably see me before then, but they'll definitely see me in 2026.
Indeed.
All right, we'll see y'all.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Bye.
So let's see here. Let's talk about Alan. Worst sidekick of the year, right? Terrible. Uh, but no, let's see. What other books did I have on my list? I had a few. Red Coat, I thought has been just really good. It has continued to be good. Skinbreaker for best art. I think Skinbreaker uh, by David Finch is mind blowingly incredible. The amount of detail in those pages is insane. You can see why it took him 8 years to do this. Surprise book of the year for me, as in last thing I thought I would be reading, is the new um, medieval Spawn book by Liam Sharp. Um, he's so good. It's just a beautiful book. A surprise book that I thought was going to be terrible and is in fact really, really good. The second issue just came out, but the first one blew me away. Is the Aliens versus Captain America. On its head, that sounds like a really dumb idea. Um, does the dialogue trump the art of Skinbreaker? Um, I don't mind the dialogue in Skinbreaker. It's pretty typical fantasy book kind of fare. Kirkman's doing fine with that. The story's fine with that. But if there was no dialogue, it's worth looking at. It's worth the cover price just to look at the book. It's a beautiful book. Uh, let's see. I think Matt Fraction's doing a great job on Batman. That's really good to see. Larry Hama continues to kill it on G.I. Joe. Just a phenomenal writer. The man's a genius. And he continues to do a great job on that. A new series I read, the first two issues are out. It's a 5-issue limited series. Is a book called Crownsville. And I highly recommend that if you like a book with a really strong creepy factor, this book has it. It's a young black police officer, and the story kind of takes place at two different times. But his mom is dying, and she kind of makes a confession to him of something she wanted to get off her chest, and it's about a job that